good evening and welcome to Prime TV News. I'm Ishara now. Tuna, here are your top stories for the day. ISIS claims Sunday suicide attacks in Sri Lanka. Foreign countries extend fuller support to curb terrorism. The UN Security Council has condemned a series of terrorist attacks. The Gazette notification with counter-terrorism clauses issued. Philippines rocked by deadly 6.1 magnitude earthquake. In local news, The Guardian has reported that ISIS has claimed Sunday suicide attacks in Sri Lanka, claiming they were the work of fighters of the Islamic State via their Amaq news agency. The group did not provide any evidence to support the claim. The envoys of foreign countries and the representatives of international agencies were unanimous in their expression of fuller support to President Maithripala Sirisena to curb terrorism in Sri Lanka, which has raised its ugly head on Easter Sunday. Addressing all the ambassadors and high commissioners based in Sri Lanka, resident representatives of United Nations and affiliated organizations, and head of other international agencies at the Presidential Secretariat today, President Sirisena expressed confidence that the terrorism can be curbed soon, as the law enforcement agencies have taken swift measures to identify and arrest the criminals responsible for acts of terrorism and aiding and abetting such acts. He revealed that already 8 countries with experience, intelligence skills and high technology capabilities to fight terrorism have assured Sri Lanka that they would provide assistance and appeal to other countries also assist and cooperate in this fight against the menace of terrorism. The ambassadors, high commissioners and other representatives assured the president that they would provide every possible assistance to Sri Lanka to curb terrorism. The envoys who expressed their views included the representatives of United Nations and European Union and ambassadors of Germany, United States, Denmark, Norway and Pakistan High Commissioner. President Sirisena said that he would be truthful and acknowledge that there were lapses on the part of defense authorities as they failed to inform him about this development. He revealed there would be a restructuring in security sector positions shortly. The president said that although there were intelligence reports about possible terrorist cells, no legal action could be taken with normal laws without sufficient evidence. President Sirisena said the blocking of social media could be lifted by tomorrow if on untoward incidents today. President Maithripala Sirisena visited the recently bombed St. Sebastian's Church, Katwa Pitiyanigambo, today to inquire into the present situation and inspect damages caused to the church. The president met with the parish priest father, Sri Lal Fonseca, and extended his deepest condolences to him towards all the Catholics in the area. President Sirisena also inquired regarding the reconstruction works of the church and stated that he has given instructions to the army to complete those construction works as soon as possible. Also during this meeting, the president stated that the government has taken all the necessary steps to prevent the recurrence of this kind of brutal activities in the country. The president wished quick recovery for all those who are injured in this tragic incident and said that the government has taken steps to provide maximum reliefs to the victims and their families. Meanwhile, the president joined in paying his last respects to the deceased persons who died in the explosion during the Easter Mass. The president visited several houses in the area and paid his last respects and extended his condolences to the family members of the deceased persons and for all the Catholics in the area. The UN Security Council has condemned a series of terrorist attacks in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday and called for holding perpetrators accountable. UN Security Council members issued a joint statement on Monday. It says the members of the Security Council condemned in the strongest terms the series of heinous and cowardly terrorist attacks that took place in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday. The members of the Security Council underlined the need to hold perpetrators, organizers, financiers and sponsors of these reprehensible acts of terrorism accountable and bring them to justice, and urged all states, in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant Security Council resolutions, to cooperate actively with the government of Sri Lanka and all other relevant authorities in this regard. The Gazette notification pertaining to suppressing terrorism has been issued. The government decided to include several clauses in connection with countering terrorism under the regulations of emergency law from midnight yesterday. President's Media Division stated that the aim of the move is giving more teeth to police and tri-forces to beef up security of the country. The government declared National Day of Mourning today to mark the series of attacks carried out by a group of terrorists targeting civilians. The Sri Lankans island-wide mourned, hoisting white flags on their vehicles and houses. The government also requested to light a lamp at 6:15 p.m. today to commemorate the victims of the national tragedy. The general public also observed 3-minute silence in the memory of victims from 8:30 a.m. to 8:33 a.m. today. Hindu devotees in the north also engaged in religious observances in the name of people who lost their lives in the series of attacks. International police organization Interpol is deploying a team to Sri Lanka to assist the national authorities investigating the series of bomb attacks at churches and hotels. Checks are already being made against the organization's stolen and lost travel documents and nominal databases in order to identify potential investigative leads and international connections, Interpol said in a statement Monday. Deployed at the request of the Sri Lankan authorities, the incident response team will include specialists with expertise in crime scene examination, explosives, counterterrorism, disaster victim identification and analysis. If required, additional expertise in digital forensics, biometrics, as well as photo and video analysis will also be added to the team on the ground. President Donald Trump on Easter morning offered condolences to the people of Sri Lanka.
It's a terrible, terrible thing. Right there for a long time. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. It's a terrible thing. I just spoke with the Prime Minister. I spoke with the various government officials that we are working with Sri Lanka. But that's a terrible thing.
Are you worried that your staff is ignoring your orders as the Mueller report portrays?
Final rites of some victims who were killed in the blast at the Katwa Pitya St. Sebastian Church were held today. The remains of the deceased were brought to the church this morning. Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit performed the special service during the last rites. Thereafter, the funeral took place at the David Vatta public burial grounds at Katwa Pitya. Meanwhile, last rites of several victims at the Batiklo Zion Church attack were held at the Navaladi Cemetery. A large crowd attended the funeral to pay their last respects to the victims. The Ministry of Education announces that government schools will commence following the vacation on the 29th of this month. Schools was to begin on Monday after the hour of the vacation. 6 suspects who were arrested along with underworld leader Markandure Madhush in Dubai were deported to Sri Lanka today. 6 individuals, including vocalist Amal Pereira, arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport this morning. According to police headquarters, the group was detained by the Criminal Investigation Unit of the airport for interrogations. 6 Pakistani nationals who were staying in Sri Lanka without valid visa were arrested by the Negombo police. One of Pakistanis was arrested from the Periamulla area in Negombo. The other 5 were taken into custody from the Ad News Road in Negombo. The arrested are in the age range of 18 and 25 years. The suspects will be produced before the Negombo Magistrates Court. The police headquarters requests the motorists to display their names and contact numbers on their vehicles when parking in urban areas. And moving on with more local news, Venerable Dr. Omal Pesobitathera categorically denies answers given by Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando replying to a foreign journalist yesterday.
who you believe carried this out?
There are so many information moving here and there and saying that the Defense Ministry was aware of it. And well, we knew certain things were happening, but this country is truly democratic today. There is no emergency laws, nothing. So there is hardly anything that we also can do. We can go to a certain extent, collecting information and things like that.
What did your intelligence warnings say?
Small group, but very well organized and powerful, was responsible. And so most of the findings, I will not be able to disclose because, still we are doing it. And your FBI is with us today, and the same way the Interpol is coming tomorrow. And we are going to dig into this fully.
You issued a warning. You had intelligence.
We had to a certain extent, but it's a little vague.
But why wasn't the church protected? Why weren't all the churches protected?
We have alerted related agencies, and now, for example, even during the height of the war, right, we never provided security for the hotel. Hotel security was looked after by their own security. They always hired a senior military officer or a police officer, and they looked after. And when something like this happened, they say, oh, they didn't do anything. We even in the future, we are not going to look after the hotel. They have to, they are earning, they are very lucrative. And they have to look after their security. We are here to secure the security of the public, general public and the property.
Why weren't the churches protected if you had a warning?
How many churches to be protected? But we informed that there is, we never expected an attack of this magnitude.
But you had warnings about a suicide bomber.
Not to this extent. It's a isolated, maybe one or two attacks here and there and various things. We never expected it to be so big.
Meanwhile, the Foundation for Protecting Public Rights lodged a complaint against the Defense Secretary at the Criminal Investigation Department today. The foundation says the reply made by the Defense Secretary to the foreign correspondent during his interview creates a suspicion that he has neglected his responsibilities. The foundation requests the CID to carry out an expeditious investigation into the incident. That's all we have for you today. Do visit itnews.lk for more of the very latest. I'm Ishara Nautuna. Stay safe. Good night.